Here are the tests on my 2011 Duravit Starck 3 toilet. It is using a wall tank with what I assume to be the original parts. There's no water line anywhere except for this bump right here, so I'm just going to assume that's what that is. So let's give this a flush and see how it does on tests. This toilet is very interesting in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like wash down toilets, mainly because they don't siphon. I've also seen them having issues with staying clean, but considering this is the first wash down toilet I've ever owned, I'm actually really excited to test it. For the first test, let's see if it can take a washcloth. Honestly, I think it'll pass with ease. Did perfectly, as expected. Now, let's see if it can take a grocery bag. I really can't lay it flat. It did well. It passed. Now, let's see if it can take the washcloth and the grocery bag together. You may notice a lack of refilling sound, and that's because I have to fill this toilet manually. The fill valve does not take a regular supply line, which I am honestly not surprised about. I guess it's the same toilet where you have to uninstall it to remove the seat. Thankfully, I was able to remove one of the hooks, but the other one is just stuck there. Also, this is the same toilet where you have to take the wall apart to replace the tank parts. So yeah, and this isn't even some kind of millionaire luxury toilet. This is standard in Europe. I can only imagine what they deal with. But anyway, let's see if this can take the washcloth and the grocery bag together. Nope, it's clogged. Here's the second flush. And of course it doesn't siphon because it's a wash down, but it took it. That's not terrible, honestly. Now, let's see if it can take a dish towel. I'm honestly not sure about this one. I kind of think it'll clog because it struggled with the washcloth and the grocery bag, but there's only one way to find out. Yeah, I don't see that there's any way it could take that, but I am going to give it a second chance. And I'm going to see if it siphons, which it probably won't. And of course it doesn't. The only reason I was even thinking that it was possible for it to siphon is because I know people have seen some washdown toilets siphon, but this doesn't have a P-trap and the piping behind it is not connected very securely, so I don't think it will ever siphon. But anyway, let's give this a second flush. These also really don't have any suction power either, so it makes stuff like this difficult. As far as performance goes, I would say this toilet is pretty good. It performs about equal to quite a number of vintage toilets and better than a lot of them too, but it does not flush as well. So now I'm going to see how it does on dirt. This is a lighter dirt, so it may float, and that's exactly what I'm expecting. I honestly do not think it will do well, but they've been using this design for decades, so there's a chance. Yeah, so that did amazing, right? Yeah, not. I used potting soil, and it appears to have left quite a lot of floating debris. So I'm going to go ahead and manually fill that tank again and then give it another flush. But first I do want to see how the bowl rinse is. I almost forgot. But it looks like the rinse is pretty good. It missed a little right there. It seems like the rinse is very good. And since all the water comes from the rim, I am not one bit surprised that it has good bowl rinse. I would actually be surprised if it didn't have good bowl rinse. So now let's give it a second flush. To be fair, toilets aren't designed to take floating bits of stuff like that, so I might have given this toilet an unfair disadvantage, but to compensate for that, I am going to get some different kind of dirt, and I'm going to do another dirt test, but everything around here is soaked from recent rains, so that's why I didn't use that dirt to begin with. So as you can see, this does not really stick to the sides because it's all wet, but it doesn't float quite like the potting soil. So let's give this a flush and see if it can take that. It definitely left some behind. That stuff in the bottom is all sand, which isn't really something a toilet should be flushing. A lot of toilets leave sand behind, so I can't really blame it for that. It did pretty well on the dirt. The rinse was weak right there, but I have definitely seen worse. I think that the potting soil is not really an accurate test. So from now on, I might use some fireplace ash and then some of this dirt just so that I can see the bowl rinse and the bowl clearance without having issues like we saw before. But anyway, that is about all for these tests. It was an interesting find, that's for sure. I might try testing it on a high tank when I get that set up, and I'll be giving this toilet and this carrier to BTR Plumbing. So expect to see this on his channel too. But anyway, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps my channel a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.